And there she is in the distance. Very, very good. Okay, let's go there.
Your destination is on the left.
Welcome back, subscribers, and hello YouTube viewers. On this occasion we're in Parkes, New South Wales. We all know what's in Parkes, I hope. This should be quite good. Somewhere I really wanted to go and visit for quite some time. Not about the movie The Dish, but more the fact that it was involved with Apollo 11 and the signals that came from the moon and the video linkage that provided the TV footage. So I'll spin the camera around. Let's have a good look at this so-called dish. So that's her. So we're at the Parkes Observatory Visitors Centre. It's open 7 days, 8:30 a.m. to 4:15, so we've got plenty of time to wander around. Now this is a no drone zone, so we won't get the drone up anywhere near here. If I can at quite some distance and use my zoom, well, I might give it a go, but I probably won't. Just awesome to see. It really is. So this is inside the information centre, and once again, if you need to buy a souvenir, there's plenty of things here to buy. Just outstanding. Everything from hats to books to astrology, everything you need. Very, very good. Now once again, I'll go relatively slow, and if you see something you'd want to read, just hit pause and have a read. So those that can't make it out this way, you can still experience it. This looks like how it's all constructed. I like that photo just there. How the actual dish part is slowly being built. Very good. So yeah, so just once again, I'll get in relatively close. Just press pause if you want to have a read. I'm assuming this must be the older layout to manoeuvre the dish itself, and things have been updated. There are some great photos. Here are some more, just some great photos during the construction period. Just fantastic. I'm not getting too much glare as well, so that's pretty good. Very good. Photo that one. Foundations. Very good. Now there is a model on display, and there is a button you can press, and that'll help spin it around. It should keep the kids happy. But very, very good. Now that image does ring a bell. Very close to what I mentioned was probably in the movie. So here we are outside. There's a few buses have just come in of tourists, which is just terrific. It really should be a destination, I think, for a lot of science students from all high schools. I think it'd be just magic for them to see this sort of stuff. And there are some cyclists, so I'm assuming they've parked up at the town of Parks and cycled here. Now you cannot use mobile phones, anything with a Wi-Fi device, but you can use these sort of cameras. Now this is just a DJI camera. There's no Wi-Fi connection for it. And we'll just come up to another display just here in the middle. Okay. Now this is not a space ship of any kind. What I do like is there are a lot of little pointers out here to tell you what it actually is. I wouldn't have known what this is. So it's a receiver cabin or focus cabin used to sit above the dish and house the sensitive radio receivers that direct weak natural produced radio energy from space. So just press pause, have a read, but very good. Not sure if you're getting all that. There is a bit of glare from the sun. And there you have it. So once again, just a note that phones and Wi-Fi devices must be switched off or in airplane flight mode. Photography and digital video is permitted and welcome. So that's what I've got. Now there are some plaques here. National Engineers Landmark. Once again, just press pause if you would like to read it. I'm not sure if that's coming through at all. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. So this is just a memory marker for a John Gattenby Bolton, and he was the director from 1961 to 1971 who made this telescope one of the world's great research instruments. Very good. So here's one more plaque, and this is for the Electrical Engineering and Computing group. Once again, just press pause when you think you've got it in focus. Very good. And this is our last plaque. So on the 21st of July 1969, the Parkes Radio Telescope brought television pictures of the historic Apollo 11 moonwalk to 600 million people around the world. Very good. So this is the plaque to commemorate that. Once again, it is big. Now they do have a little playground for kids. I guess they could get bored quite easily, so the adults can still do whatever they need to do. There is coffee here, there's bathrooms here. Very, very good. Now if you're coming here with kids or you're a teacher bringing out a group of school kids, there's a few challenging little mazes to sort out, or puzzles to sort out. Some seem quite easy, some could be pretty tricky, but they're all solvable. Here's just another little map highlighting where everything is. Now they do have a few artefacts or scientific sort of displays in the garden right near the entrance, and I've come across this one, which is a sundial, and the time is smack on if you allow for daylight savings. Very, very good. And there's some more over there as well. So there is another plaque I've found. It just highlights the fact that the CSIRO Parkes Radio Telescope was added to the National Heritage List in August 2020 in recognition for its contribution to the history of Australian astronomy and its association with the Apollo 11 moon landing in 1969. Now, I never got to see that at school because I would have not even attended school at that stage, because in 1970 is when I started prep, and I do recall actually watching it at my grandmother's place because that's where I was staying. So we do have that memory. Just have a look. This is the entrance that'll take you in. So here is just a slightly different angle. To the right you've got the Visitors Discovery Centre. Go in a bit closer. Just awesome. There's another little disc behind it, but very, very good. And as you can see, the parking's just here. Parking's for free, entry's for free. There is a theatre that you can watch some videos. There is a fee for that to watch. It's a half-hour video. I've chosen not to do that because I sort of basically have seen something similar on the internet. Okay, now that the drone is on its way, this is where I do a little bit of research, not too much, and give you sort of more of an informed sort of information about this location as opposed to me surmising or just showing you with the camera. So Parkes Observatory is a radio astronomy observatory located 20 kilometres or 12 miles north of the town of Parkes in New South Wales. Its host, Murray Young, the 64-metre CSIRO Parkes Radio Telescope, also known as the Dish, along with two smaller radio telescopes. The 64-metre dish was one of several radio antennae used to receive live television images of the Apollo 11 moon landing. Its scientific contributions over the decades led to the ABC to describe it as the most successful scientific instrument ever built in Australia over 40 years of operation. The Parkes Observatory is run by the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organisation, better known as the CSIRO, as part of the Australian Telescope National Facility network of radio telescopes. The observatory was included on the Australian National Heritage List on the 10th of August 2020. The park site was chosen in 1956 as it was accessible but far enough from Sydney to have clear skies. Additionally, the Mayor, Cess Moon, and land owner Australian James Helm were both enthusiastic about the project. The success of the Parkes telescope led NASA to copy features of the design in their deep space network, which included three 64-metre dishes built in Goldston, California, Madrid, Spain, and Tidbinbilla near Canberra in Australia. The telescope continues to be upgraded and as of 2018 is 10,000 times more sensitive than its initial configuration. During the Apollo missions to the moon, the Parkes Observatory was used to relay communication and telemetry signals to NASA, providing coverage for when the moon was on the Australian side of the Earth. The telescope also played a role in relaying data from the NASA Galileo mission to Jupiter that required radio telescope support due to the use of its backup telemetry subsystem as a principal means of relay science data. The observatory has remained involved in tracking numerous space missions up to the present day, and these included the Mariner 2, the Mariner 4, Voyager missions, Giotto, where it was the primary control and downlink for the mission of Halley's Comet, Galileo and the Cassini-Huygens missions until 2017. In 2012, the observatory received special signals from the Mars rover Opportunity to simulate the Curiosity rover UHF radio. This helped prepare for then the upcoming Curiosity landing in early August. So that's about it with the basic rundown of the Parkes Observatory, and I hope you enjoyed the remaining aerial views. So that's really about it, and I hope you really did like this video. It's something that I really wanted to do and come and have a look at. If you did like the video, by all means, click on the like button or that thumbs up icon. Please consider subscribing. Subscribing doesn't cost you 1 cent, and it really helps the channel immensely. But most importantly, stay safe, commute safe, and have a great day. And thank you for your time for watching.